So why did I choose entrepreneurship? My senior year of high school, it was a debate amongst my classmates. Some were going into college, some were going to trade school, and some were just going to go ahead and join the workforce. And at the time, I was in trade school for carpentry, and it was offered through the school. So I went to that, and while I was there, I noticed that I really, really liked building things and seeing things, reading the plans, reading the blueprints, and just seeing it progress as what we were building was being built. So I went and checked out that career that I wanted to do, which was construction management at the time. And when I went to go check it out, I went to OSUIT, which was a 2-year college, and I went out there and checked it out, how much it was going to be. I had 2 scholarships at the time, so even though I did have those 2 scholarships, I still noticed that I didn't quite have enough to be able to attend, solely upon because I didn't want to take any of my parents' money, because already by itself I knew that I would put them in a little bit more tougher spot for themselves, and so I decided I'd take care of it myself. So when I was checking it out, I then job shadowed a construction manager, and while I was there, I saw really what it was about. And what I thought construction manager was at the time was, your own boss, and you kind of just taking care of the operation, checking it out. But kind of as I went, I still noticed that I still had to be below someone. And as I went on, I kind of just started seeing it fall off little by little. And in the second semester of high school, I was in economics, and the teacher asked us to write a paper on our career paths. So I was happy to write mine and wrote everything about it. So in the class, we had a couple of engineers, teachers, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, and just a whole different variety of career paths. And one that really, really caught my attention, even after I presented mine, was when a younger lady talked to us about entrepreneurship, being your own boss, responsible for yourself, seeing yourself grow. So that's the one that really, really intrigued me and caught my attention. And at the time, I didn't do a whole bunch of research on it, or how to come above on it, or how to come about it. And now that I look back, I saw that there was quite a bit of entrepreneurs around me, but at that time I didn't quite see it. I thought the entrepreneur was big businessman and just in a big old office, and that's what my thought was of an entrepreneur. So that was May 28th of 2020 was when I graduated. 4 days after that, actually, the day I graduated, I just decided I was going to get a heads up on life and buy a house, buy a vehicle, pay it off, and then do something for myself. Maybe go to trade school and finish off on some other career path and just go about it. And while I was there, while I graduated, I got offered a job, and I went ahead and took it. It was in the oil and gas industry in Odessa and Midland. And 4 days after, I started in the oil field. So I was working there for about a year, and in that year, while I was in the oil field, I was 19 at the time. I thought I was kind of set for life. There, a good paycheck, benefits. I got a vehicle, and I paid it off, and everything was looking really good. And in 2020, February or March, we had coronavirus, and it slowed down a lot of jobs. And one that was greatly affected was the oil field. I saw a lot of people being laid off, and then I was one of them as well. But while I was in the oil field, I was what I considered my first year of actual life experience. I noticed how some people would just not really toss you around, but like speak down on you and make you feel yourself less of, or make you feel less, and make you feel like you aren't worth because they were at a different position than you were. So at the time, I worked with it was a supervisor, and he was that one that really made it difficult on me. I was a younger guy. I was 19 amongst 30-year-olds. I think the youngest one was like 28, and they made it a little bit more difficult on me. They made it to where they often made remarks. They said things, and this one time there was this incident that happened at work, and we had OSHA come in, and I was the translator for most of the guys there because a lot of them didn't speak English. So as I was following the foreman, who was a family member of mine, I was following him so I could translate for them. And as I was walking up to where the safeties were and the supervisors, I got stopped by he was a salesman. He was a salesman for the company. I got stopped by him, and he's like, "Whoa, what do you think you're doing?" I'm like, just gonna translate for my uncle. And he told me, he was like, yeah, but are you a foreman? Are you a supervisor? Or what exactly are you here in the company? I'm like, no sir, I'm just a laborer. And he says, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. He says, your uncle's gonna come with me, and you're gonna stay over there. And so, okay, I walked back. There was, no issue at all or anything. But then he comes back and talks to all of us in the group that we were waiting back there. And he says, so these guys over here that are in the meeting, we pay them to think, we pay them to speak. He says, we pay you guys from your neck down for labor. So me understanding what he was saying, that really made me angry. And then the rest of the guys, they quite didn't understand, so I explained it to them. And once I told it to them, I don't know why it didn't bother them. They said, well, yeah, that is true. And I'm like, no, that's not right. I don't think we should be talked to like that. So around, it was June, we had the option to continue staying in the oil field or choose something else. And at the time, I was thinking about doing something else for myself. I wasn't quite sure of it yet because I was just unhappy there. And they gave us a choice, and I told them that I was thinking about doing something else, so they just considered and laid me off. So then I came to East Texas in Longview, and while I was over here, I decided to go ahead and work with one of my friends. And what he did at the time was roofing. He did roofing, so we would tear off the old roofs and put the new roofs on and fix any repairs. So that's what I was doing at the time. And while I was doing that, TikTok was becoming a big thing, and TikTok was a big influencer on me because TikTok was actually, it kind of showed us life hacks and it quite wasn't that hard to do the things to put you ahead in life. So I took a lot of TikTok's advice, and it opened up my eyes and opened up my brain. It told me what books to read. It told me how to think, what investments to make to put me ahead in life, and I followed all of those. I followed most of the ones I could get my hands on, and there's still some that I'm still doing. But I read 2 books. I read one that was The Richest Man in Babylon and Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I read those 2, and to be completely honest, those two really just made it for me, to like change my point of view on things and change my mindset from doing something for myself, and how it wasn't that, how you can do simple things. It doesn't mean that they're any more smarter than us or anything like that. They're just simply doing a couple steps to put them ahead of where we're at. So I followed those, and while I was following those in TikTok, I saw a lot of side hustles, and I decided to start one. I decided to go ahead and start a power washing business, and I bought cards, and I was just excited to pass them out. I went door knocking for a bit, passed out the cards. I went to Walmart, I went to Sam's Club, and I would put a pressure washing card on every single driver's door's window, in the parking lot. And I tried it out for maybe like 2 weeks, just door knocking and doing things, and I was like, maybe this ain't for me. So I stopped it, and never did I get a job. Never did I get a job for the pressure washing. And then after that, I continued working on the roofing, and as I was working in the roofing, I got a chance to do my own side hustle there as well. And I had someone who was a family member that was passing me leads, and I would go and take care of those leads. I would go and do the repairs. I would go in and tear off and put on the new roofs, and I would do that. And at this time, it was winter season, so for roofing in winter season, this job is kind of slows down, starting like November. And so I decided to go ahead and try that. And while I was doing it, I was happy because I finally saw something working for me. I finally saw something working for me, like to where things would start paying for themselves. So I had a small little business working for itself. The tools were paying for themselves, and it was working. And I liked it. I liked it because it was solely coming all together. And I was like, oh, okay, so all these books make sense. And at the time, jobs started slowing down, so I didn't get to take care of a whole lot of them, a lot of the jobs. So kind of in that time frame, I started feeling a little bit more lonely, just lonely, depressed. I didn't see myself going anywhere, and I didn't know where to go, who to ask. And I saw about finding a mentor and just going about these things. And I remembered that I prayed, it was, I believe, in November, that I wanted for this to stop feeling lonely and stop feeling depressed, to find somewhere to go and go about it. And I spent Thanksgiving alone, I spent Christmas alone, I spent New Year's alone. And it was because I felt lonely, I felt lost, I felt like no purpose. And I remember I prayed before I got into 2021 that 2021 was going to be for my growth. It was going to be for me starting to do something for myself, to be filled with guidance, to be filled with wisdom, to be filled with learning. And I took a quote from Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, author of "Work to learn, don't work to earn." And another one that was "Get comfortable being uncomfortable," which I've heard it a lot of times by Steve Harvey. And I took those two quotes almost to heart, and I told myself that this next year, it does not matter if I don't make a killing. It does not matter if I lose money, just as long as I stay with the same amount, and I learn and I grow. And January was slow. I was still working in the roofing. February came in, it was slow. And then I decided to quit. I decided to quit on it. I decided to do something else. So I applied to a couple companies, roofing companies, as a salesman. And at the time, I think I contacted maybe like 4 or 5. And 2 of them called me back. The first one called me, and they offered me a contract, but I didn't know, I didn't want to do anything to do with the contract. And then the second one called me, and they seemed like I got along with them very, very good. So I decided to go ahead and take the opportunity with them and work with them. And me, myself, I was a very, very shy person. Like this video already, I could not even be doing it looking at the camera. I did not speak with my hands. My hands were in my pocket. I would turn so red, my ears so red. And just speaking and being social was hard for me. And I don't know, I would just, it was just not my thing. And so there at that company, I did a lot of door knocking and speaking with homeowners. And it really, really helped me out on keeping the whole eye contact, being friendly, speaking with my hands, presenting myself. And it just slowly started building itself. And then as I was going and doing that, I started seeing other things grow. People started noticing me when I started making a Facebook page, when I started making my Facebook, I started promoting myself, marketing myself. It started working. You know, people started noticing me, and it felt really, really good, because most of my content that I was putting at the time was motivation, content for people to not let go of their dreams, for content that people do what they believe that's best for them to reach their goals. And a lot of things that have to do with God. And it's crazy because I remember roughly about a year ago, almost a year ago, I felt lonely, I felt depressed, I felt like I wasn't winning. And there's things that I didn't quite see at the time that were working, but they were slowly building me up to a place to where I could do better. And the roofing, being a salesman in the roofing, has been a challenge. I've had good weeks, I have bad weeks, I have good months, I have bad months, but selling itself was a new thing for me, because in my family there was no salesman. There was no one to really tell me that, hey, you should go try this, you should come try this. Most of us, we were just laborers. That's what we mostly did. And there was a couple of entrepreneurs. My uncle had a lawn mowing business. One of them, I believe, had a construction company. My uncle had a roofing company, roofing business actually, not a big entity company. And I saw a couple around them, so it kind of intrigued me to ask them, how do you do it? How do you get people? How do you get prospects? How do you get leads? How do you get all that? And you know, they were telling me about, you know, word of mouth and this, and I'm like, wow, this is all so new, but how do I go about it? I was just so excited to learn and see how it worked. And it's been a big blessing. It's opened doors for me. Sales itself has been a big blessing, because now I finally know what I bring to the table, know what I'm worth. I get to meet people that you would never believe that you'd ever even get the chance to meet. And it's crazy, because just a year ago I was feeling tormented, and I moved to Longview just last year, so I'm still new. I'm only a year here, living here, I made friends. I made people that put me ahead. I found some mentors. And all that stuff that I wanted, it finally came into place. And I'm not to where I want to be, nor am I content to where I want to be. But just the power of, and I didn't quite know what this word meant until about maybe like a month ago, so bear with me. But the power of affirmations, affirming something, saying something to yourself, and making the best of it. Last year when I said that I wanted this year to be for growth, that's most of what I got. Did I fail? Oh yes, I failed a lot, but here's where I actually learned how to fail. Before I would fail and quit, here I learned to fail and get back up. Fail, and get back up. And don't get me wrong, I have failed in a couple things that I let go, but I came back to give it a second try. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy where friends, where people you know, networking can get you. And it's just been a big blessing. And so that's kind of the reason why I got into the entrepreneur side of things, because before I was valued as, actually I wasn't valued, and now what the things that I can bring is what I'm valued. So that's one of the big things on why I became an entrepreneur. The other thing too was that I started seeing how entrepreneurship didn't take all of your day. So when I was working at a job and being paid hourly, I was being paid for my time. And an entrepreneur, you could close a deal in maybe like, I don't know, not even an hour. You can close a deal in less than an hour and get paid pretty good for doing that. And I think sales, working commission, working that sort of things really opens different doors. Not saying that, having a job does not open doors, because yes, it does. But for me, sales has worked a different amount of wonders. And I enjoy sales, and I like it. Although it's tough, don't get me wrong, it's tough. I've worked with clients that took me 4 months, and I still couldn't close them. I work with people who wasted my time, people who made the runaround around me, and I wasn't used to those things, so I didn't know. And it's a big thing that I think what it is, it's self-development. Because like I said before, I did not have the eye contact. I couldn't even make a video right now. I'd just be blushing. I'd be messing up right now. I'm sure that you guys have heard me mess up, but hey, everybody mess up. Everybody messes up, just like I did right now. And speaking with the hands, and it's just a different type of things. I mean, now I feel good about myself. Now I feel confident. Now I feel more positive, if that makes sense. Before I felt good and I felt great, but I didn't feel valued. So now I feel at least valued for what I know I can bring, for what I know I can do, and just keep improving myself, because I'm not anywhere to where I want to be. I have really big dreams and ambitions, and I plan to achieve them sooner or later. And just go about life. So this is the video of me, why I chose entrepreneurship. And my question is to you, why would you like to join entrepreneurship and be an entrepreneur? This is my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So this is just a little bit about me.